We'll consider this the beginning. Just now, everything else is gone, but they don't need to know that. But we're started anyway, and it doesn't matter. Hey, full disclosure for this piece of audio that will be on the internet somewhere. DC Fandome. That's what this is going to be centered around. It might go for an hour. It might go for 30 minutes. It might go for an hour and 5 minutes. But I would dare to say that that's going to be the chunk of topics here. A lot of things that, assuming if you're listening to this, you might have already known some of this information, and if not, congratulations, you get to hear our sweet sultry voices. Probably not going to cover everything that was announced, but I think the majority of it is the big headliners, if you will. So yeah, the Fandome. Did you know this was happening when it happened?
The Fandome. No, I didn't actually.
Okay, you had no clue.
No.
You sure?
Well, no, I didn't even know what it was at first. I had to go look it up, and I'm still a little confused. I think it's like a show or movie or something, but I'm a little confused.
No. So, and this might be a very poor explanation, but so DC Fandome took place, I believe, over this weekend, and there's another date coming up in September as well. They split it up. In the spirit of these COVID times, the DC universe as a corporate entity took the opportunity to do, the online presentation approach, some of what like an online Comic Con would be, or, E3, things of that nature. And so this is DC Fandome. And I think it's a clever play on words, fandom, but Fandome. Apparently, I didn't get to watch any of the live stream, mainly because I just didn't go out of my way because I was in a cabin. But apparently, a lot of it was set like in this CG, like Coliseum dome, where like some of like the hosts or whatever would like introduce different panels, and it looked like a lot of the different panels. I think all of this was pre-recorded. I believe that's why it probably didn't go down terribly as far as reception and things like that with internet. But like they had a lot of different panels for the upcoming games and movies. I think they were all via Zoom or, things of the like. But yeah, in a nutshell, I think that was the whole idea.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, they had a lot of stuff to announce, so.
They had a lot of stuff to announce. And so I have the majority of things that pertain to at least what you and I care about, kind of etched down here. Is that, are we just going to dive in? What do you think? Somewhere you want to start? I saved what I think is kind of the best for last. You can kind of guess what that is. I'll never tell until we get there. Do you want to start with the two games first?
We can, or I can do my topic, which is unrelated first, if you would rather.
Oh,
well, kind of unrelated.
Oh, I kind of have an unrelated thing too. Now that you say it, gosh dang it. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. I got ahead of myself, man. I was just so excited to talk about Shazam 2. Yeah. You do your thing. And then I have an update for you. And then we'll dive in.
Okay. So Black Widow is potentially going to be released on Disney Plus.
Nope, it's not.
Really?
Nope. I don't believe it. That's just me talking. I don't believe it.
Okay. I was like,
where did you hear it?
Everyone's talking about it now. Like it's all over the place. I don't know if
well,
it's
did we talk about how they're doing the new Mulan thing yet? Did we discuss that?
Well, I know there's a new Mulan like live action coming out, but
oh, so you don't know. So maybe you do know once I start talking. So yeah, Disney's doing the whole, hey, everything's live action. You see this Lion King, he's live action, except it's a computer. And so they're doing all of the old stories, and kind of making them modern or whatever you want to call it. So with, again, in these COVID times, that's the last time I'll say it because I feel like a fool. They didn't want to, this is the Josh paraphrase, they didn't want to risk a potential quote unquote box office loss, by still releasing Mulan theatrically and then kind of rolling the dice there. Mm-hmm. So long story short, it's being released on Disney Plus. You need to have a Disney Plus subscription, but not only that, there will be a $30 paywall to get to Mulan on top of that to view it. And I believe that once you pay that price, you will have it indefinitely, or at least you'll have access to it indefinitely.
Yeah, you
So
never
when we're
really you
talking,
never really own digital products, but
correct. So when we're talking about the potential of Black Widow being released, and yeah, that was, excuse me, that was brought up shortly after that announcement from Mulan, like, oh, well, do that with Black Widow so we can freaking see Black Widow, because I want to see Black Widow.
Mhm.
Um, and it didn't. It sounded like some of the higher ups, from what I can remember, hearing about this when it was hot off the presses, they said that for Mulan being a digital release, it was kind of a one-time thing. It wasn't going to be the new norm. But more or less, I'm sure that, I don't know whether that was the truth or not. They're going to get their analytics and things like that. But sorry
I
for
do
further on.
question the $30 price tag though.
How do you feel about that concept?
Well, I suppose if you're going to get to see it before the official release and then you're going to get to keep access to it indefinitely, kind of like you're buying the movie, I can kind of justify that price tag. But what about people who just want to see it once and then are done with it, right? Why don't just like get a lower price, like maybe how much a movie ticket would cost, like maybe $10, and then you get like the one-time viewing and that's it. Having like a
Um,
second price point would be better in my opinion.
well, first off, this is the Greater Mythos podcast, a very unorganized podcast. What? I tripped over myself already. We're Greater Mythos. We talk about things like this. Unprofessional. Anyway, I forgot to do that at the beginning, but I would assume, because the whole concept of on demand or straight to DVD or not DVD, straight to Blu-ray or whatever we're in these days, that flat rate of, for example, $30 is theoretically taking into account, more than one person watching this film, at least at home. And so if you only charge like $5 or $10, supposed movie ticket, but there's a family of 5 watching, then depending on how you want to look and argue about it, you lost money. And that's just what I've heard, and that's the kind of, mindsets that I've heard other people view that on. I don't necessarily have a thought one way or the other. I'm not paying $30 for Mulan, but I might pay $30 for Black Widow. So who knows?
I would rather pay it for Black Widow than Mulan, but I've already seen
Of course,
Mulan
that's just our
many
opinion,
times.
though.
And also, they don't have. I don't think from any of the trailers that the dragon's even in it, or has that been changed?
Mushu, I don't think Mushu's in it.
He's
I don't
my
think he
favorite
is.
character.
He's Mushu.
If you don't like, what you could have had an animated dragon in that movie, and it would have been okay. And
It wouldn't be as dark and gritty and Christopher Nolan then.
I mean, like Mushu was like Mulan's like second biggest motivator to do things, like pick her up when she's down. He's like the good guy Mushu. Where's he gonna be?
Good guy Mushu. I don't know. They might just use like a tattoo of a dragon on someone's back that comes to
Aw.
life and speaks to Mulan. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Here's the thing: no Mushu, but apparently they're still doing dance numbers and sing-alongs. I don't know, man. I don't know. But also, I might be talking out of my butt because I don't do a lot of research about Mulan and the live action. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that Mulan's probably my favorite Disney movie, the original. So,
I don't remember a lot about it.
well, it's China, I think. Yeah,
I
China.
know it's China. It's the girl. She goes into the army. She pretends to be a dude.
Mhm.
Whoever let that slide on by. Interesting times. No arguments here. It's a cartoon. It's just interesting. Make a man out of you. I know that one. There's a bug.
Best
There's
song
a dragon.
ever.
Okay. A hot take.
Best Disney song ever.
Hello, another hot take. I'm gonna log off. You might get some fire on that one.
Okay, so
you've never seen Moana.
the first comment was definitely a hot take, but best Disney movie, I will sleep on that hill. I don't want to die, but I'll sleep on that hill.
Interesting. You'll sleep on it. You think about it. Give it a few thoughts. See how you feel in the morning.
Think about it. It's so good. It's so
I can't think about it.
catchy.
I don't think I've seen it within the past 10 years, and I'm not even that old.
Well, I can't give an opinion on like the newer ones. First of all, Let It Go, I feel was overplayed.
All right, we're going on. We're diving off.
No, and then Moana.
He said no.
And then Moana, I don't even think I heard it all the way through. So
Oh my gosh. Huh. Well, I would pay for Black Widow. I think it just, it depends on who you ask. And again, it is what it is. But also, New Mutants is coming out this weekend or next weekend. And I really want to go out and see it because
in theaters,
that movie. Oh, yeah. It's coming to ours.
So our theaters open then?
Yes.
I didn't know
And
this.
only like only like a total of like 8 seats are available in theaters because social distancing, totally fine. I just want to go see a movie. Why not New Mutants? I read a few of the comics. Oh, did like that hiccup? But we'll see what happens.
So what? You just like you got to reserve seats like weeks in advance or something? Like how are you?
Not weeks in advance. There's just so the few theaters that I looked at, or the few showings, you click on the showing, and then you get to pick your seats. And a majority of the seats are marked as unavailable, obviously to section things off.
Mhm.
And there are several groups of like 2 chairs together.
Okay.
It's kind of space that out, which if you feel cool with that, then why not? And if you don't, that's totally cool too. Allow me to shift hard right into my brief thing, and then we'll dive into the juicy hot DC news. So as you know, over the weekend, I got my grubby little hands on the Avengers beta.
Yes, I need to know what you think.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I liked it.
I'm shocked. I'm just kidding.
You're shocked? Okay. No, man, man. There's nothing that I can say that will surprise you or I don't know. It's exactly what I feel both you and I expected and had heard about and all of those things. I don't think that's a bad thing. I had a good time with it. Does it have the potential of being repetitive and grindy? Yes, but a lot of the big, mainstream titles are anyway in their own way. So again, it kind of comes back to the pick your own poison kind of deal.
Mhm.
I went ahead, cards on the table. I traded in some of my some of the other games that I hadn't been playing within the past long time, and put it towards a pre-order of it. So it's not that I completely endorse pre-orders, but I was like, hey, the only way that I know how to get money off of this full $1 or full $60 price tag is to trade in games. So I did that. I get the Legacy Outfits pack. Woohoo. Comes out next week.
Legacy outfits where from before they were forced to change it.
Well, it has like Black Widow's, like comic original suit.
Okay.
The Hulk has his. Yeah, it's like that. But yeah, so it was good. I enjoyed it. I look forward to playing it. Apparently there are around 15 unannounced heroes. That'll be cool, but it's not Spider-Man because he's only on PlayStation. Another talk for another day. It sounds like Captain Marvel might be one. Ant-Man probably is. Hawkeye's coming later as DLC. And that's it. I'll stop there.
Batman looked pretty good.
Oh, you jumped right to it. Gosh dang it. That was going to be God. We can't go back now. All right. So
It sounded like it was some kind of secret topic you were saving.
It's not secret. I just like, it was, okay.
We were memeing about it days ago already.
Shut up. This is the Batman. So we got the trailer.
The hammer.
Yes. Oh gosh dang it, dude. On my notes, hang on. This is totally killing whatever. I had on my other like side notes, revisiting the Mission Impossible series because you've seen most of them, or at least all of them by now. We're not going to do that. We're on Batman and DC. We'll get to it at another time. Don't say anything. The Batman. So, dude, Matt Reeves' The Batman, coming out next year, supposedly. Supposedly they've only shot 25% of it due to, lockdowns and all that. I watched the trailer for the first time on what did I watch it on? I think I watched it on my phone at the cabin. And dude, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I know it doesn't usually take much with me and things like this, but very promising. On the Batman note here, I have in brackets stoked for Riddler. So that'll be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what were your hot take thoughts in the 2.5 minute trailer?
Well, all I ask for a Batman is to be somewhat dark, and not necessarily the lighting, but more like the tone, and to make Batman take himself seriously. Because if he doesn't, the fans don't either. I mean, look at the past. Like you look at the Christopher Nolan series, everyone likes it. People take him seriously. Then Ben Affleck Batman comes out. And he's kind of dark. He wasn't his fault. It was other issues, but he's okay in the Batman v Superman and
Dawn of Justice. Yeah.
Then in Justice League, he's just this joke.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to Justice League and the joke.
But in
Let,
what
let
I
me.
saw in the trailer didn't show that to me. It showed like he was a cool Batman, which is all we ask for, really, or all I ask for anyway.
So what were your thoughts on? So Rob Bat, patent pending on a different podcast who penned that name. I can't take credit. What do you think of him? You know, we got a little sights of him in Bruce Wayne garb and in the bat suit. What were your thoughts there? Because obviously, people could be divided. They could bring up his old, his old roles that we don't need to even speak. What were your first thoughts?
I like him. I like him in the role. For some reason, Ben Affleck didn't feel like he was Batman to me in the trailers I saw when he first was announced. I wasn't basing that opinion on any previous movies. I haven't really seen him in all that much, so. But with Robert Pattinson, I admit when it was first announced, I did have some reservations. I mean,
Hmm.
Twilight, come on. But then,
Gosh, yeah.
but then, I mean, it looked really good. And I've seen like in other movies like The Lighthouse, he obviously knows he's a good
The
actor.
Lighthouse. He's real good, man.
I mean, you
Dude
can't
can
really
turn it on.
It's I don't think it's fair to ever fault an actor on a single performance, like judge
No.
their acting on a single performance because
Especially one almost 10 years ago.
yeah, I mean because even the one he did before that in Harry Potter, he did better.
Cedric.
I think if the acting feels bad, there's also the factor of the directing and the writing that can
Oh yeah,
affect.
the script, yeah.
I think he did all his roles fine. I think he's a good actor, and I think this new iteration of Batman will be good. That's my opinion.
So the two things that I've heard people in general, no one specifically, their kind of negative comments is about how they don't think he looks like a good Bruce Wayne. Like they say that, yeah, the cowl and the suit, he looks good, but like as Bruce Wayne, they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know, this, that, and the other. And
what is Bruce Wayne supposed to look like?
well, not only that, but like I was like, what are you wanting? Because again, from what I've heard, this film is around year 2 of him being Batman. So he's still kind of in those early stages of solidifying. He's still in the I'm vengeance mode, obviously, just trying to scare the crap out of the thug life in Gotham and all that. And so he's not as interested in portraying himself as the billionaire playboy, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
My thing is, there's only really 2 images of Bruce Wayne that come to mind. There's just this unassuming billionaire man from some of the movies and comics. And then there's like the iterations of Bruce Wayne from the video games who's like super jacked like Batman. Batman's basically a tank in those games. And I'm like, well, you only have the 2. And I'm sure
Right.
and he looked pretty built to me in the shots we got of him. So
yeah,
I'm not,
dude.
I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I think he looks fine as Bruce Wayne.
I agree.
But we'll have to see.
Riddler.
Okay, so it is Riddler. Like the trailer kind of confirms that, but I don't remember seeing who the actor was.
It's Paul Dano. I didn't write down a few of the movies he's been in. He's been in a good amount. The main role that I know him in, aside from this, is he played. He was in a movie called. Crap, what was it called? Oh, Captives. Was it Captives? Now let me fact check this. Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. He played Paul Dano.
I don't think I've seen that.
I had Sarah watch with me a few weeks ago just because I thought it was good. Oh, it's called Prisoners. I apologize. Really intense movie, really good. He plays a really good, creeper, more or less. And I'm really look forward to actually seeing him, in this Riddler role. Some people were concerned that they're, more or less turning him into the Joker version of Riddler, which I don't think that's the case. I think they're just taking the more serial killer vibe of that. But yeah, I'm rambling. So
I do think they need to be careful to not make it be the Joker because those characters can be similar in the ways that they do their things, trying to trick people and everything. But the Riddler usually cares more about, at least from the comics that I know of, he usually cares more about just beating Batman more than killing a bunch of people, you know?
Right.
The serial killer
Yeah.
part usually is more Joker, if you ask me. But I don't know. I suppose we'll have to see. If it does come off as this is just the Joker, that's going to affect people's opinions. So I think they do need to be careful
I
about that.
don't. Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think people are going to be upset regardless of what happens, but that's all right.
It might have just been the trailer, them trying to like fool you. Oh, is it Joker? Is it Riddler? Who is it? Until they revealed it.
It's the Riddler. Yeah, it's the Riddler for sure, mainly because that's what we were told way back when. Did you notice that was frickin' Colin Farrell as Penguin and all that makeup?
Who's he?
What are you asking?
I've never heard that name before. I've probably seen him in stuff, but
Colin Farrell?
yeah.
Dude, he's in a lot of things. He was in 2002 or 6's hit film SWAT. Hang on. You haven't seen SWAT. That's all right. Let me bring this up. Dude, Colin Farrell, he's in a lot of stuff. And I would be able to tell you off the top of my head if I was more prepared. He is in films such as more recently Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Minority Report, Total Recall, the recent Dumbo live action. He was in Ben Affleck's Daredevil 2003. He played Bullseye. Everyone loved it. No, he's in a lot of stuff, but he's playing. He's the Penguin, and
it's gonna be interesting to see how they do two villains in one movie.
I have confidence, and I don't think it's ill placed. I think it's gonna be good, and if not, we'll talk about it. We can cry. We'll consult. It'll be just fine.
I feel like
You know
they
what I'm saying?
might do something where the Penguin's like, they always start a Batman movie. Like if it's not like an origin story, they always start one with like he's in the middle of a mission type thing. So it might be that
Sure.
he's fighting the Penguin at the beginning, and that's when the Riddler shows himself, or vice versa. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Any closing thoughts about the Batman 2021?
Well, I'm excited that it's next year, and it definitely looked cool. I liked how
Yes.
visceral the combat was in the trailer.
Yes. Yeah, it was freaking good, man.
I guess he won't be in the MCU though because they're already using an older Batman. So
You mean the DCEU?
DCU, whatever.
Get your terms right. We are professionals. We are not.
The comic book universe movie
That
CBMU.
was sublime.
But
Side note, I just got an email from I don't know who it's from, but it says Tom Clancy's Elite Squad is now available. You unlocked Walter. Sorry, we talked about that a few weeks ago. Go ahead.
so he won't be in the DCU. So what does that mean? So I don't know. Is this just another self-contained Batman story?
Well, as we'll talk about another film here in a few minutes that will kind of coincide with this. From what I've heard and from what I've been witnessing, it looks like the DCEU and the powers that be are very much leaning into the multiverse aspect of it, and everything that goes into that. A big point of that being Flashpoint paradox, and all that. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes, like I said. So it kind of looks like they're making stuff and throwing it out there, and what works, we're going to run with it, and what doesn't, it's somewhat secluded and self-contained until it's not. Does that make sense? Kind of a thing?
Yeah, but like, it seemed to me that during their movie run, the shows that they had, the TV shows that were working together, were doing a better job of the whole working together thing. Like, did you like recently? Maybe this might have been last year. They did that big Flashpoint thing themselves,
Right.
and I mean, they had Supergirl, they had Flash, they had
Yep.
all
Superman.
Yeah, the DC legends. They had Superman. They had other versions of the characters, and they did this big multiverse crossover event thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the appeal that Marvel first had, right? Like they did these origin stories and they put them together in a big film. Then they did more origin stories into another big film. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I feel like if we had more time, if DC was a little more patient with their movies, like they were with their shows. I mean, the shows have been out for a long time. years. They built that up before they did it. Um, I don't know. I heard people throw around that they're just trying to get in on the cash grab that was the big
Oh
Marvel
yeah.
Universe craze, but I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what the motivations were. But I do think that they should spend more time building each character and learn from the mistakes of the MCU too, like not having an origin story for Black Widow and the Hulk,
Like not doing Iron Man 3.
or doing an Iron Man 4 before you kill his character off.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know what they're. I think they just had too many characters, and they just wanted to get the big Avengers movies out. But you could have squeaked another movie or two in there.
You could
I
have
think you could
squeaked
have.
it in. You could have. All right. All right. All right. All right. So that was the Batman. All right. Hold on to your pants. Justice League, the Snyder cut, homie.
It's like 4
It's
hours long, isn't it?
Dude, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Justice League Snyder Cut to be 4 1-hour episodes with another full-length version to be released, either later on or whatever. Also, there's supposedly going to be a black and white version.
A black and white version.
Black and white version.
I probably won't watch that, but I guess that's neat.
So how do you feel about the 4 1-hour episodes? Because let me tell you, I'm all over this for so many reasons.
4 1-hour episodes. I guess that's interesting, but I don't really want to wait after watching one. If they're like all released at the same time,
They probably will not be, if I were a betting man. So it's gonna be on HBO Max. I can't remember if we talked about that a few weeks ago when they first kind of announced it. My guess would be like what Disney did with Mandalorian and countless other platforms before that. They're going to release it weekly or whatever so that people don't just get the week free trial of HBO Max and then cancel it once they binge it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it kind of stinks. I mean, if this was a totally new project and there wasn't anything, because what happens when the week comes, it's mostly what we've already seen,
It's not. It is not.
Hey, the original Justice League's
Zach,
like 2 hours, right?
it,
So half
something
half
like
the
that.
Snyder Cut's going to be that stuff.
No, it's not. He said he is not using any of Joss Whedon's footage, who is the director that stepped in for him in his absence. This is going to be a whole new cut. And yeah, I guess they'll probably reference some of the, scenes and situations that were portrayed, but a lot of the footage will be, the previously shot versions and things like that. It won't be the reused and recycled from what he was talking about.
Okay, so are we? Is it still the Mother Box story? And
It's a great question. I would assume. So, did you see the trailer that dropped for it?
I have not.
Oh, I would recommend you doing that. That is on your to-do list, young man.
I saw the conversation that Henry Cavill had about the Snyder Cut, but that's all I've seen.
Side note, I watched Making the Witcher on Netflix. It's a 32-minute documentary about season 1 of The Witcher. It's very good. But Darkseid is going to be in it, at least for a little bit. Steppenwolf's design is going to be changed to his original, which is a lot more spooky looking and not as
cartoony.
Bad. Yeah, man, I would recommend you watching it because I totally understand the reused footage and things like that, but it's looking like it's not going to be that.
Well, I mean, even if they use it, just everything was so rushed in that movie. You don't get time to enjoy any of it. And the only scenes I liked were where Superman was in it, and every scene he was in, he was breaking the movie. So
yeah, So there will be no mustache gate this time around. Thankfully, black suit Superman is confirmed. That may or may not be part of the trailer as well, but I'm all about it. And I still have my mustache. What mustache? My mustache gate version of Justice League sitting on my wall right over there. So I have a relic. I have an antique, and I will forever have Henry Cavill's CGI lipped version of Justice League.
Well, the only scene, speaking of that, the only scene that I really noticed it in was actually the only scene that I really liked in the film was the one where he like first awakens and they all have to they're all fighting him, they're all trying to, and he's beating all of them. I just really liked that scene when
it was pretty good.
just the look in Wonder Woman's eyes when she realized that he wasn't all there. And they're like, oh gosh, we're done for.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I'm okay. Like I'm just hoping for the day when, and maybe the Snyder Cut is it, but I'm hoping for the day when people realize how to use Superman, and I'm really hoping it is the Snyder Cut. You know,
I look forward to discussing how you feel once we have had the blessing of viewing this piece of art.
if he's just not in the first two episodes, which might be the case, because a lot of writers think, well, Superman's too powerful, so just don't put him in the
Right.
first part of the movie, and then we don't have to worry
Right.
about it. They kind
Problem
of
solved.
same with the Hulk, and like, well, there are ways to use really strong characters that aren't just throwing them in the trash.
Well, I disagree with you. Any other thoughts about Justice League?
Disagree with me.
I'm joking. I don't care. It's fine. It's fine.
Just
It's
thrown
fine.
out
It's fine. It's
Ben
fine.
Affleck's Batman, and the movie would have been the same.
All right, here's what we're going to talk about next. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right there. Ben Affleck, Batman. So another film that was announced was the Flash film that is going to be, pardon me for using this word, that will be straddling the Flashpoint narrative. And so the headline for that is Ben Affleck will be returning as Batman, and Michael Keaton is supposedly returning as Batman as well.
Old Batman.
Yeah. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about the Keaton?
I did hear about Michael Keaton coming back.
What'd you think? Did you scream like a little girl? Did you want to? It's okay. It's okay if you did.
Well, I mean, my Batman
Did
will
you?
always be Christian Bale, but I think the older generations, it's always Keaton. So, have you gone back and rewatched those movies before? The Michael Keaton Batman? Have you gone and rewatched them?
I did I think around 2017. I think I watched 1989
And
again.
and it was a 1989 movie, wasn't it?
Correct. Correct. It was shockingly that.
Okay, so I think a lot of it is rose-tinted goggles when it comes to Michael Keaton. I think he's a great actor
Sure.
from stuff I've seen.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
comic book movies just weren't all that much. They just weren't as much quality put into them as they are
Sure.
now. But yeah, I think that's really cool bringing back the older actors and doing that stuff, because they did it with like the Flashpoint in the show too.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, and so you had mentioned, for the Batman, is he just in his own universe? Doesn't matter. Is he in the Thing? And so with the confirmation of more or less the multiverse being in the DCEU,
Mhm.
We can kind of assume that yes, to an extent, Rob Bat is in the DCEU. So is Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but they just have the sweeping under the table method of, oh, well, it's the multiverse, so maybe they'll be around, maybe they won't, and things of that nature.
Well, then let's just have a big multiverse event and only keep the best actors in each role.
Interesting, like
Cut
a
out
roulette, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the Ben Affleck Batman worked in Dawn of Justice, and
I
then
agree.
they changed his character, and now we can't unlearn that. So
I'll be interesting to see how he is handled and portrayed in the Snyder Cut, because you better believe that it will not be the same as the previous cut.
Oh yeah, if it's 4 hours of new footage, if they really aren't reusing old footage, then that's gonna be, they could totally do something different with it. But we're gonna need something big to get the taste of out of our mouth. But speaking of Flash, wasn't too wild about the actor they had playing him.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I'm not trying to keep going back to the Snyder Cut, but again, watch the trailer. It appears that the differences in the directors had a major influence in how he was portrayed in that film. Once Mr. Schneider had to step down from that role, and there was a replacement, it didn't appear, it's kind of what we can assume happened. They put the Flash in more of a comedic relief kind of role, and it was jarring, to say the least. But from the trailer that we got, and the little bit of what we saw and the little bit of dialogue that he had, it did appear, and I know it wasn't a super long trailer, but that he's a lot more contained and useful. Well, bearable. How about bearable? Like Barry Allen bearable.
I like the show Flash. I think he's fine. The Flash that I actually like the best is the one that they had in the old cartoon and in some of the games where he's like cocky and full of himself. I
Right.
like that
Very,
Flash.
very Ryan Reynolds-esque.
Yes, yes. Ryan Reynolds Flash would be
Classic.
incredible. Just put him in every role.
I liked him as Green Lantern. Wait, did I see the film? I think I did see the film recently. Anyway, I don't know.
The film has its issues, but every scene with
Don't
Ryan
we all?
Reynolds is always better because Ryan Reynolds is in it.
So good.
But he's Deadpool now. That's
He is
Marvel,
Deadpool.
So he can do a DC role too. I mean, come on.
That'll be interesting to talk about that in a few seconds. Any other thoughts about Flash? We really didn't get a whole lot. Did you see the concept art that they put out?
I did not. I did hear that not even Flash, but that Cyborg's taking a bigger role.
Yeah, he is, because he was put together by a mother box, and so they talked about how exploring more about how the mother box has influence over his, existence, because he was more or less created by it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited to see that. I guess I get it was just hard to care about any of the characters in Justice League, the ones that they just added in that movie, because they had no backstory, and the only thing they said was he was a football player, something bad happened, bam, he's Cyborg now. Like, well,
yeah, you got it. Check out that trailer. But you gotta see the stuff, man. The concept art was pretty dope. It was the Flash. He had a newer suit on. People were speculating that it was a Wayne Tech suit, because why not speculate? And behind him was Keaton in the Keaton bat suit, kind of poised and ready to fight. It was just concept art, obviously, but it was official, and so that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I'm excited if they do more stuff and bring in some of the older actors from other universes. Bring in the Joker that we like.
Which one is that?
Not the one from Suicide Squad.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
That's not even a hot take. There's a lot of people who feel that way.
He says, not a hot take. He's fine.
Okay, well, think about it, first of all.
I will not think about it. We don't, no, we're not, no. Don't let Leto win. Don't let him win.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's peacefully transition into Wonder Woman 1984.
It's gonna be good.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
It will be. So October 2nd is the supposed new release date, because it got pushed back due to obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the trailer for this?
I saw some of it, but usually I watch more of a trailer if it's something that I don't know anything about, or if I need it to motivate me to watch the film. For Wonder Woman, I'm gonna see it. I saw the last one.
Absolutely.
I liked it. I like Gal Gadot. I like the character. So I'm going to see it. It feels like it's going to be what Captain Marvel should have been. That's what I'm hoping for.
Interesting. So crap, I already forgot his name. We got our first look at Cheetah and her CGI, goodness. Did you see that part? Did you see that section of the trailer?
I didn't see, no, because I only watched part of the trailer, but I did see her design.
Okay.
Because it was all over the place. Everyone was talking about it.
What'd you think? Did you care? What'd you think?
I'm not overly a fan of CGI costumes on people. I mean,
what are you gonna do?
Green Lantern.
What are you gonna do?
But
I
guess we'll see. Her playing the role, looks good to me.
Oh yeah, why not? Crap, what is his name? Who does he play? Frickin' Chris Pine's character. What is his name?
I don't remember his name, but he's the pilot guy.
He's the pilot guy. He's back. He supposedly died in the last film. Spoilers for 2017, I think. Wonder Woman?
And he looks like my cousin.
Which one?
It looks like Dylan.
Interesting.
Do you not see it?
Interesting. We'll have to discuss that later.
I'm gonna have Dylan send you a picture of himself, and we're gonna look at it side by side.
We don't need to. You don't need to do that.
We're gonna do this.
No. No, it does look good. You're right. A lot of the promotional art and posters that they've put out have been super cool, very colorful. She has her frickin' hawk armor or whatever that is that she's wearing. That's all gold and craziness. Yeah, no shock there. Very much looking forward to that. We'll go ahead and speed on by to Aquaman 2. Confirmed. I'm sure that's not going to be the final title, but working title, Aquaman 2.
pretty excited about that one. I like the first one.
So James Wan, who is the director of the first one, um,
Hmm.
the first one. Sorry, he's done a lot of horror movies. I think he did. What did he do? He's done a lot of horror movies, things like that. But he was quoted to say that so he'll be returning for the sequel. He says it will be a more serious tone and be more relevant to the world we're living in today. Supposed release date in 2022.
More relevant to the world we live in today.
I mean, global warming, I guess. I don't know. Can you get COVID underwater? Who's to say?
Global warming. I don't know. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Like a sea, an ocean disaster, you might say?
I'm just saying that if they politicize the movie, half the fans are already done with it. Some of the people will be okay
You
with
think
it,
so?
and a lot of people, well, yeah, every time they politicize anything in the entertainment industry, people don't watch, some people do, but a lot of people don't watch movies for politics. They watch it to get away from politics, you know?
Sure, to escape.
It's an escape for me. I mean, especially right now, all you see is politics, and I'd rather not see it. So, hey,
So in a nutshell, what were your thoughts on the first Aquaman film, solo film?
it's pretty good. It was pretty good. So I mentioned that I like Batman to take himself seriously. It needs to be a
Yes.
serious film. Whereas Aquaman's character needs to be the opposite, and I feel like they did that because I mean it's Aquaman. He's always been a quote
Correct.
unquote joke of a character. So
Sure.
make the movie filled with jokes, and Jason Momoa does an incredible job.
Oh yeah.
I like
Booyah.
I like everything that was that movie. I felt it was good.
Wonderful. That's great news. So you're all on board for a second one. It'll be interesting to see how that all, ties together, if it even does, with the other projects and movies that are coming out. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods was announced.
I loved Shazam.
Shazam.
I loved Shazam.
Shazam sequel, supposed release date November 4th, 2020. So you liked Shazam. Tell me about it. What did you like? What did you dislike? Would you watch it again? Do you want my copy?
I would watch it again. The first parts of it are a little slow. I know the whole character of Shazam is that he's also a kid, but
Sure.
not a fan of the whole kid part. I don't know.
Oh,
It
how
has to
dare
be
you.
there, so not a valid criticism because it has to be there, but
Sure.
it's just what I thought. I liked the character though. I liked the dynamic and um, the ending was like the end post credit scene or whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That was interesting. Well, no, I'm excited. It was a good movie.
I liked it too. I think Sarah liked it as well. We have it on Blu-ray, of course. Actually, I think it's on our yearly Christmas movie watch list, mainly because it kind of takes place around Christmas time and we're quirky like that. So suck on that. It's called Fury of the Gods. It'll be interesting to see, what takes place there. Because so I think that's all the information, at least that I had on it, but that kind of ties into the next announcement that was Black Adam.
Yeah.
Black Adam, the movie. The Rock is finally getting his Rocky wish of being Black Adam. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it, him, Black Adam and Shazam are very commonly grouped together, right? Like, are they enemies? Are they frenemies? I forget.
Those are actually the two comic book characters I actually know the least about. So,
Really?
um,
Okay.
I mean, The Rock being in anything makes me happy.
Correct.
Because
Oh yeah.
I saw Rampage specifically for him and
Oh
and
my
the game reference.
gosh. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I like him being cast in anything. So
Well, and so they put out some concept art for him or for that movie, and they had some concept art of him in the suit.
mhm.
He was there in all of his rockness. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, and Black Adam are connected. Because surely, at least at the end of one of those two, there's going to be the end credits of like, oh, I have to go beat him up now or something.
Mhm.
Because I believe they have similar-ish abilities and powers, aside that I believe The Rock is a fully grown man and not a child at heart. Well, maybe at heart, but not physically.
Speaking of being a child, this
Oh.
movie is later, so the actors gonna look older. So what are they gonna do about
Oh,
that?
yeah,
Ev-
that's a great question.
Eventually, they're gonna need to find another actor who looks more like the second guy. You know,
That's a yeah. I hadn't even thought about it. My guess.
probably won't change anything. They'll probably just use the same actors.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say my guess would be maybe they'll powder him up, the younger guy, make him look a little bit more boyish for whatever that's worth, or they might find a way or a reason to be like, oh, he's just Shazam all the time now, or for most of it, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Black Adam will be cool. I don't think there was a tentative release date for that one. But Fury of the Gods, supposedly 2022. So surely. Well, I don't know. I don't even think they started filming Black Adam or Shazam 2. But hey, so the last film here, as I dropped my wedding ring on the floor, I'm like a fool. That's just our little secret. Dude, The Suicide Squad releases August 6th, 2021. And did you see anything about that?
What I saw is that they have a big task ahead of them to cover up the
How
last film.
Dude, well, did you see the video they put out, like the behind the scenes, whatever?
All I saw of that was like the big diorama that had like all the characters on it as one of the advertisements.
Dude, you got it. You got to see this little featurette or whatever they put together of some of the behind the scenes. Yeah, so it's a big squad, pun not intended. It's not a continuation of 2000 whatever's David Ayer's Suicide Squad. It is, I think it can be considered as a soft reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Because Viola Davis is returning as Amanda Waller. Joel Kinnaman's returning as Rick Flag. Margot Robbie's back as Harley Quinn, because if she wasn't, we would riot. Jai Courtney is back as Boomerang, or Captain Boomerang. Yeah, there's a big list of people that are in this quote unquote Suicide Squad, in the squad itself, mainly because if I were a betting man, in the first 5 to 10 minutes, they're all just going to die instantly to live up to the Suicide Squad name. But I think this looks super dope. And if you haven't seen any of the what's it called? Like on-set photos of some of them in their costumes or whatever, you should, because it's pretty entertaining. Some of the directors described it as a classic 1970s war movie, as far as, vibe.
Interesting.
It's not set in the 1970s, but just that kind of vibe. Nathan Fillion is in it. Did you see that?
I heard about that.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion, Peter Capaldi, John Cena. No one saw him in the trailer, but he was there. That was a John Cena pun for all of you kids out there. And a good amount of others as well. King Shark is in it. And it's James Gunn, who, of Guardians of the Galaxy fame, is directing. And he wrote the script, too.
Should be good then.
Should be good.
Speaking of Fillion, though, little sidetrack here.
Yes.
What are your thoughts in public about the first 4 Firefly episodes?
Yes. We did watch 4. In a nutshell, because I'm assuming once we smash the rest of those discs, we'll give it the time it deserves. I'm a fan. I, honest to goodness, look forward to finishing the rest, and I will, honest to goodness, be diving into some of the extended comics and books of that lore at a later time when I finish the show and or movie. Yeah. So yeah, all on board there. Anything else about the Suicide Squad movie? Any hopes? Any dreams?
Margot Robbie's coming back, so
yep.
I have a friend who will be really happy about that.
Very good. Good for him. Good for us. Good for all of us.
He has a very big crush on her, as I feel like a lot of Americans do.
There are a lot worse people to have crushes on, I could say.
Isn't she kind of like a murderer? Like in the movie?
In real life?
No, in the movie.
Oh, yeah. She's a psychopath.
Everyone's got a crush on her. That's kind of her thing. Hey, look. I am excited for the movie, even if it's going to be bad.
Oh, sure. I am too. Because it looks like it's going to be insane. Mm-hmm. Just in obviously in concept and theory and execution. I All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the majority of films. I think there were a few animated projects that they announced and things like that. Some things in regards to the shows. I didn't write a lot of it down just because I didn't. So that kind of sums up the movie slate. I'm sure there's a good amount of information we missed, but uh, so this leaves us with the two games that they announced, and I believe these were the only two, at least the only two that kind of blew up.
Mm.
Are you familiar with these two?
I remember there being games, but I'm drawing a blank. I did see them.
This is great. Should we wait? Should we wait for you to remember?
No, announce them for me. This is my
Are you
event.
sure?
I didn't get to see the things, so.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know. All right. So this is interesting. So the two games, Gotham Knights,
Okay.
Knights as in Knight, like a knight of old. Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, which we have previously discussed.
Okay. I remember that one.
Yep.
The
Which
Gotham Knights is going to be an Arkham game, right? Like similar.
You fool. This is what I was going to talk about. So an interesting piece of information that goes along with these two games is that Gotham Knights, which centers around the Bat family, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, etc. That is not it's not going to be in the Arkham verse, the Arkham game verse.
Oh,
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is.
interesting.
It's considered a continuation. So Gotham Knights it's being developed by, gosh dang it, the team that made Arkham Origins, I believe.
Okay.
WB Montreal, I think is who it is. And Origins was a mixed bag as far as reviews and stuff. I played it. I liked it. It was fine. Did you see any of the gameplay for either of these or any other videos?
No, I just saw like the promotion material and stuff that we were talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, look those up too. So Gotham Knights, I have written next to it on my notes, meh. That's MEH.
Mm-hmm.
That actually had gameplay and, and some, story setup and whatever. It kind of sets up, it's all strange, man. It's being set up as Bruce Wayne, saying goodbye. If you're watching this, I'm dead. Very much reminiscent of the ending of Arkham Knight, spoilers from 2015. But it's not considered in the Arkhamverse. But it's, you can play by yourself, or you could play with a buddy that can drop in. So 2-player co-op. Sorry. Very much enemies have health bars, numbers, things like that. And, that whole vibe. I don't know. It didn't really stand out to me. But that doesn't mean that I will probably not buy it at some point and play it regardless.
Yeah, interesting. I feel like it's a little confusing that the title that has knights in it isn't,
Correct.
part of the Arkham thing. But
Correct.
my question is, why didn't they just do these two games as kind of like two versions of the same experience, where in one game you play the villains and the other game you play the heroes, and they're like a shared experience, like you play one perspective or the other?
It's a great question.
I think that would have been really cool. I guess
Well, that's why you're not getting it.
no. You know what? Maybe they should hire me as a writer.
Yeah, maybe they should. Yeah, so definitely watch those videos whenever you can, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on them once you saw them. So Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. It's going to be on next gen as well, and the release window for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, 2022.
It's a long way away.
It's a long way away. So we only got a CGI kind of cinematic trailer for this one. From what we got, the Suicide Squad in its current form is Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark. So there might be other villains that are introduced as the game goes on. Who knows? We do not. We didn't get any gameplay. Justice League. Superman makes an appearance. It's pretty wild. Brainiac may or may not be involved. And that's what we got.
Brainiac. There better be a fight with Superman where he just wins.
Yeah,
Just
well,
wins.
just wins. That's it.
Yeah, he just kills every one of the Suicide Squad. That's the end of the game.
Surely there's a shirt out there somewhere that has Superman's face and it says, "All I do is win."
Well, yeah, because if you're a writer who doesn't know what you're doing, then he does always win.
Goodness me, look at you on fire over there for
Look, all
Superman.
right, there's only two characters in comic book heroes
Don't raise your voice with me.
that can't be messed up for me to be happy, right? And it's well, three: Captain America, the Hulk, and Superman. Okay, I have three.
You've been screwed over plenty of times then, huh?
Yes, very much. Captain America's out of the MCU.
He died in the films and in this game that's not even out yet, supposedly.
The Hulk
Hulk
was
Hulk has performance issues.
yes, for some reason they changed retconned his whole character, and then Superman. Nobody knows, and Superman's not even that strong anymore. He's been nerfed so many times. Think about it.
I don't know, man.
Well, the pre-crisis Superman was absurd. I will admit, it's hard to write tension for anything with a character that can literally bench press a planet. But for this current Superman, I mean, come on. I feel like there's
Well,
plenty of villains in the DC universe who can match him for sure.
sure. Well, let me ask you this as we come full circle. What a ride it's been. So the Avengers game, boohoo, Josh, shut up about the Avengers game. I'm talking to myself, not you. Um, one of the bigger complaints and thoughts that I've been reading from people on, pages talking about the game. Side note, I joined a Facebook page about a positive Facebook page about the Avengers game, just so I could be amongst my people. But people make the comments of, "Oh, this game, you're the Avengers, and you're Thor and you're Hulk, and none of these enemies would survive. Why does it take so many hits? Blah blah blah." And then we talk about, the godlike Superman characters and things like that. In a video game, it's hard to write. My question to you is, when it comes to the Avengers game, what do you expect? It's number one, it's a video game. And yes, it's Thor and it's Hulk and they're super powerful and all that. But if they killed killed, not maimed, because they would kill these people. If you just killed everyone in a single hit and stuff, you wouldn't want that either, because it wouldn't be a challenge and it wouldn't be this, that, and the other. Does that make sense? And I'm not mad or anything. I guess talking about Bruce Wayne and how he doesn't look like Bruce Wayne and all these things, I guess I don't know. I don't understand.
So my opinion with the Hulk and Thor, and I feel like each character should have missions tuned around them. If it's just a cut and paste beat 'em up game where every level is the same and you just pick a character and they all feel the same, then no, that's obviously not going to work. But if you had like a sandbox level, which the Hulk, and his job is to, he's running through cars in the street and causing damage and just hurling enemies, and yeah, he can defeat guys in one hit. Just make the level built around him where there's a lot of guys trying to kill him, and they've got tanks trying to kill him, and helicopters and other giant monsters from the villains. If they've got stuff like that to go against him, make it feel like more of a, you're playing this giant monster who's just shredding through the town. I feel like that works way better. And have missions with Thor where you have to fly around but yeah, if every mission's just the same, and one mission you have to play Captain America who takes 10 hits to defeat an enemy, then the next mission it's the same type of thing where you're just fighting enemies. Now you get the Hulk and they still make you take 10 hits. That's going to feel bad, I think. So I feel like it all comes down to the level design to
Sure.
to make the characters feel good. I mean, if you can't
Well,
throw things really far as the Hulk, then what are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing, and frankly, I don't like to be questioned about it. But that's DC Fandome, that's Avengers, that's Disney's Black Widow. What are your concluding thoughts here? We're gonna wrap this up. What are you most excited about? Are you excited about anything? Do we need to have a talk? If you're not, where are you at?
I'm excited about Black Widow. I really want to see that movie.
Yep, don't we all? Just waiting patiently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited. I guess it's set in the past or whatever. I don't know how they're going to do that, but
I think it's set after Civil War, if I'm remembering correctly.
Civil War. Okay, there better be some kind of story thing where they ended up cloning her or something, and that the thing that actually died was the clone. Because
Yeah, or she was a scroll. Hmm.
Well, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. That was it. None of your thoughts were about DC Fandome that we spent an hour talking about.
Well, you heard my thoughts in that hour.
Well,
talk.
I just wanted more thoughts.
It's good. I'm excited. Batman's cool.
See you next week.